Another aspect that I think is tremendously important is those photographs of the Earth alone in space, fragile blue world in this vast blackness, this vacuum.
But that middle part was not...
Man, that middle part was like...
I didn't know what to do with that.
I didn't know either. It was
Lori, tell us what we were supposed to do with that. It really felt like I was being hurled through the cosmos.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what side of the world you're in. I'm HalfLifeSistah, and this is my hubby Wolfgang.
Everybody.
Welcome to my channel and to another episode of Sister in the World Action. We are back with another patron request presented to you by Lori Michelle. That's my baby.
Seven Wonders.
Yes, seventh. Oh my God. Yes, seventh wonder. Wow.
Much better
request.
When I was editing it and I heard it a few more times. Yeah. Much better. I really like the way his voice goes up in that song.
His voice is really good, I agree.
We, again, another discovery from Arion Universe.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And apparently that's going to continue with Liberty. Pale blue dots got to refer to Earth.
Yeah, the Earth, I know. Which
right.
is why I got this little funky background, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Well, we're in space kind of sort of.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so if you want to see her react to the Carl Sagan speech that he did regarding the pale blue dot, watch Ad Astra if you haven't seen that Nightwish reaction already.
Guys.
That's in Ad Astra. So I played her the whole speech and had her react to it with a little bit of music played in the background.
Oh, you have that on
for
Patreon?
Effect. No, it's on YouTube.
It is?
Yeah, but maybe some people watched the Ad Astra, the Nightwish version, but they didn't stick around towards the later part of the video.
Gotcha.
Just know that that's included there as well, in case you missed it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you're familiar with the pale blue dot?
I am.
You know how it was captured, and yeah.
I do. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Extraordinary.
Yeah. Super cool. Super cool.
Yeah. You know, and also in me trying to find the appropriate footage and stuff for this scene.
I like how the dot is inside the...
I know. You like it? Thank you. Thank you. But I find that a lot of other bands, well, not a lot, but there are some other songs that pertain to the pale blue dot.
Well, sure. It's very popular.
I thought it was a new thing when I first heard of Nightwish. Guys, I don't know anything, okay? I just think everything is birthed through Nightwish. Let me read to you what Lori Michelle said. My favorite band of all time is Dream Theater. It also has my favorite guitarist, John Petrucci. He can blaze like no other when appropriate, but his slower passages are played with such emotion. It makes me cry no matter how many times I listen to him play.
The man can play, that is for sure. We've been digging a lot into Dream Theater. We've been listening to a lot of different stuff.
We have.
And Petrucci, again, she mentions, is her favorite guitarist, but he's also the one of the original founders of Dream Theater, along with Mayoung, which is the Korean fellow that you see in the band.
Gotcha.
Born in Chicago, but to Korean parents. He's the bassist, and we know him, of course, from all the Dream Theater reactions that we've been doing.
Yeah.
And some we like, some are a little much for me sometimes. You know, it's Dream Theater, when being so complex and so insanely talented, sometimes just go off on their instruments, and it's just like, what's happening?
I do believe that some bands do put too much into some songs. I've experienced that.
But there's no doubt that these are some talented fellows.
Oh, indeed, no doubt at all.
We got this is their 2019 album, actually, so we're gonna listen to something new. We've been listening to some of the old stuff, and from what I've read, apparently this is one of their shortest albums they've ever made. So one of the quickest written albums they've ever made, and one of the few albums that has no songs over 10 minutes. Okay. So apparently they are tightening up a little bit. Okay. One of the criticisms I made before was that perhaps the song has more than it needs sometimes, and you can make multiple songs out of that one song.
Yes.
And sometimes maybe it's good to stay within the song a little bit more and flesh that out. So we'll see. Perhaps that's what they've done, apparently. And of course, we know what the song is about.
It should be a good one.
I'll like to dive into the lyrics a little bit after the song if we can, just to see what their take on it is. But first I want to take in the song, and I want to see what it is they present in comparison to, for example, what a Nightwish did with Ad Astra, right? So this is going to be very, very cool to listen to. So yeah, on keyboards we've got Rudis and Mike Mangini on the drums.
Mangini.
Yeah, these two also came out a little bit. I'm assuming they're Italian, right? Mangini, Petrucci, these are Italian names, no? Chicago-based? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, looking forward to it. Something new. They said it's a little bit heavier too, so I was super interested to see what they're doing lately.
Let's do it.
Oh, we're about to take off. Alright, I wasn't expecting that.
Damn. In your face. Damn. Ooh.
like we're being hurled through the cosmos. amazing.
I'm sorry. Okay.
We're back. We're back.
Exactly. This is one of my favorite parts. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow.
Here's some play.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. The ending was really good. Wow. Oh, the guitar for some reason stood out a lot. I guess that was a solo, right?
Yeah.
That's why it stood out. Yeah. But
Well, technically, it had like a
beautiful.
warm-up solo on the first half, and then he completed the solo on the end. But that middle part was not.
Man, that middle part was like,
I didn't know what to do with
I
that.
didn't know either. Honestly, it was
Lori,
like,
Lori, tell us what we were supposed to do with that.
Love us
How do you?
anyway.
No. How do you? What do you do
What do
during
you
that part?
do?
Because it literally feels, and you know what? I kind of appreciate it as a concept song. It really felt like I was being hurled through the cosmos. Like I felt like I was
like
tumbling
that.
through
You know
space.
what? You know, babe, that's valid.
That's what it felt like. And I'm sitting there
Yeah.
staring because there's no video. But I'm like, man, I really need a video for this. But I'm using your background, so I'm just hurtling
Yeah. Okay.
through space in this crazy moment of absolute nuttiness of wow, like
Yes.
holy crap.
So what do you think, baby, of the song?
Okay, that aside,
That
the song
aside,
itself was
It was
a beautiful
well
song.
done.
And of course, yeah, Petrucci, you know, him on guitar,
Ooh.
and the drums were a bit
Ooh.
nutty, a bit crazy, and a very high level.
For me,
Very, very
I
interesting.
like cutting you off.
Yeah, go for it.
And for me, this felt very kind of 70s, some sprinkles of 70s.
Well, all of their songs
into
have that vibe because of the way he plays the
Not necessarily
tone
like
of
this.
his
Like
of
this for me, it
his
felt
keyboards.
very 70s.
Really?
Psychedelic, yeah, for me it did.
The heavy part.
Am I
sounded-
psychedelic?
No, I
Well,
think
no,
you're
not necessarily the
confusing-
heavy part, but there's like the movement of the music, the feel and flow of the music.
Yes.
It felt very
I got
70s,
Yeah.
you know?
Because Dream Theater has kind of a retro kind of sound feel to it.
I mean,
in
I
general,
guess,
it seems
I
like their
guess.
songwriting does have that. But I also think a lot of it has to do with the keyboard making it sound very retro.
You know what, babe?
You know?
What about Do Without You?
Well, I was trying to say that, and you said no. That's not it.
Because I like cutting you off. But that is very true, baby. That's true. I think you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, they
song.
weren't lying when they said heavy, because this was definitely the
This
heaviest Dream Theater I've heard so
agree.
far.
And I like that it's short and sweet.
Yeah.
It wasn't overdone. Now the part with when we're floating through the cosmos, when
Again,
we're like
look-
bouncing against different planets and
yeah.
things.
I'm trying to take it as a context. I'm
That-
trying to think that that's what was happening. Because musically, I don't know how you groove to that because
Yeah, I mean,
it is
what do
so
you do, baby?
crazy.
Talk to me.
It's
Comment
so
below or
crazy.
send me a private message. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What would, and during that moment, you're not like stopping,
What are you doing?
looking around.
Are you tumbling through space the way we were?
Yes.
Yeah.
It pulled me out of the. It pulled me out. It pulled me out.
I'll be very curious upon multiple hearings to see if somehow that flows better the second time I hear it. But the first time it was just like, whoa, what's happening?
That was a lot.
This is crazy. But
Like,
But then when the song came back,
when it came back,
again,
to
they
me, that
ended
was the
nice
best.
and strong, and it was
the
very
ending was, I think, probably the best part of it. It started out really, really, really good. The middle was a little, you know.
Again, I think they might have been doing a concept
the
there.
ending was like, muy bueno.
Because I wanted to look up the lyrics, but I he sings so cleanly, so I could understand what he was saying for the most of it.
His voice is really nice.
Yeah, the album's called Distance Over Time, which I thought was cool.
Ooh, Distance Over Time.
For the most part, the lyrics were pretty much what I heard. So far away from home, beyond a distant reach, faith whispers from the edge, returning piece by piece, a lonely point of light captured in a final glance.
Gotcha.
Because remember, when I told you they captured that was one of the last shots that they took. He wanted them to turn around and take a picture just before it exited
yes. Goosebumps.
our system. So that was a perfect little image that it captured.
Yeah.
A solitary hint of life, right? Because we're just talking about the size of a pixel. But it's so much life on that tiny little pixel. Discovered it by chance. God creators, dream destroyers. That made me wonder a little bit.
God creators, dreams destroyers.
Dream destroyers. Because we are the God creators, right?
Yes.
Our human thought we
because
made God in our mind.
Maybe the dream is the dream destroyed is the idea, the reality to us.
Perhaps because we're looking at it from an image. So on Earth, we create God in our mind, but when we come out into the solar system, we realize, whoa.
There can't be a God. Oh, I don't know what.
Well, no one will ever admit to that, right? So it's not that there can't be a God.
It's like,
obviously, we're not talking about God being proven or not, but we're talking about it's very easy to believe in God when you are in the context of your bubble.
Exactly.
But when you go out into the solar system, it does make it more difficult.
Exactly.
It makes it more difficult because now it's much more complicated. There's no heaven in the clouds. You realize there's something way beyond the clouds.
Anyway.
So it makes the dream a little harder to digest, as and that's why it kind of destroys a lot of the myths that religion created, because when you go beyond that, or when you look into it, you start to realize that there's far more than just this small-minded thing that us and our religions have created.
It's interesting. Knowing science, knowing...
What you know about science?
Knowing Neil deGrasse Tyson, okay?
You know him personally?
Knowing the things that he says.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Understanding and appreciating the reality of the things that he expresses. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand how people can still believe that there's this omnipresent being.
Well, it's easy because you can't disprove it.
I get that. That's the agnostic part. I get that. But knowing... to me, it's just unfathomable to believe and to think that once you I have not grasped, my mind has not grasped the reality of this thing that we're in, right? Mm-hmm. So, what I'm trying to say is it's just mind-boggling how people can still believe that there is a God or Jesus, and he rose people from the dead, and all the things when you have this massive galaxy that... So you can't help me.
Your mind's being blown.
My mind's being blown.
I'm just letting you blow your own mind.
It's just really hard for me to believe that people will believe that. When I got with you, I was already on the verge of being atheist. Yeah, I was already there, literally on the line. Like, I was telling him about believing God, but what? So, Mm-hmm. But when he spoke to me about the Crusaders, okay, it painted a different picture.
Well, so now you're talking about each individual religion and the little things that you can piece out to kind of help you understand how it's man-made and how it's something that we've created as a construct.
Right.
But we're not talking about that because you're talking. What we're talking about is the grand scheme of things. Eliminate all religion. We're talking about basic belief in something higher than ourselves.
Right.
And that's a different conversation, because quite frankly, that conversation doesn't bother me, because I'm okay if people believe in something of a higher power or energy source.
I
or
believe
anything.
I'm a god.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying I'm a higher power.
What does that mean?
I'm a goddess. I'm a god. I have power. I have energy.
In what sense?
We are all our own gods.
Okay, sure. We're talking about that in our own, uplifting ourselves and making us feel better. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things, where we came from, whatever. I understand it's something we don't fully know, and maybe it gives people comfort to think that perhaps there could be something there.
I know it does.
And that doesn't bother me.
It gave me comfort too.
Institutional religion bothers me because, again, that's clearly man-made. That's clearly something designed to control and to manipulate, and the Catholic Church is filled with corruption and greed and pedophilia. All it's doing is causing separation. You've got Israel fighting with Palestine. You've got all this nonsense over a piece of rock in the middle of some sort of Mecca or whatever, some sort of holy land.
Though.
This is shit we made up, pure and simple. That's 100% guaranteed. I can assure you of that. I can't guarantee you that there is no higher being or higher power or some sort of energy force out there.
You agnostic?
I get that can't be proven. However, I can guarantee you that all religion made on earth is made up bullshit. And we could laugh at things like Scientology because we know the person who made Scientology. We know he's a liar and a con man and a science fiction writer. But when we look at things like older religions where we're like talking about scrolls and stuff like that, well, now there's like this muddying waters where you can't disprove because you don't know who created it or whatnot. I get all that, but that's no excuse. It all came from somebody's head. It's all made up. Now,
yeah, I don't have
there could still be a higher power. I get all that.
So you're agnostic atheist?
I'm not personally.
But you just said that. That means you have to be agnostic.
I'm conceding that they can argue that. That's all I'm doing. I'm conceding their argument. I'm saying that we could all, if that makes the world a better place, if we believe in that and still consider it as a higher power, but eliminate all religion, quite frankly, I'd be for it.
I'm a spiritual person.
I do know some people do need to believe in something. I do know that.
I get that.
So I don't want to take that away from them.
As well.
Scientifically proven that if we do believe that something can bring us through something, mind over matter, it's a real thing. I get it. So I can't dismiss that. That's all.
I'm sorry. Moving forward, not stop.
Yeah, let's move on. We probably pissed off a lot of people. Spineless cowards and fearless warriors. Hopeful children, mothers and fathers. Our blood-filled rivers fueled by hate. We worship heroes, kings and saints. It's kind of what we were just talking about.
Yeah, indeed.
But who's out there to save us from ourselves? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who is going to save us from ourselves?
We are.
If we think that there is a God, we assume God will save us from ourselves. That's not going to happen.
Turn the question around. If we do blow ourselves up, does that disprove the existence of God?
Whether or not I concede to you that there might be a higher power, one thing I know 100% for sure is no one is helping us. We are here. We gotta help ourselves.
We do.
If we don't get our shit together, we are eliminating ourselves. There is no person that is not us stepping in to help us. So that I can guarantee you for sure, and quite frankly, that's something you can't argue with me on. And what's annoying is they can, because they'll be like, well, Armageddon will come, but by then it's too late. Everyone's dead, and it doesn't really matter.
I mean, it'll be a little late to make the discovery, but still.
Yeah. There.
Anyway, all you will ever know, all life that ever was, all you despise or love, living out their lives, this isolated speck hurtling through the cosmic dark would seem to go astray if we were washed away. This is similar to Carl Sagan's speech. Some of that, he's wording it differently. And then I like this last line, would seem to go astray if we were washed away. If we die, if we do kill ourselves, if we get washed away, literally nothing in the universe changes. We have absolutely zero effect on this universe as a whole.
As a whole.
That's the thing we have to really understand and focus on, is that only us can take care of ourselves. And if we value ourselves, you want to be a goddess?
I am a goddess.
If we value ourselves to that extent, then we have to then take actions to live in that sense for ourselves, and not live in make-believe where we are perhaps putting things aside that we shouldn't be, global warming and things like that.
We now have the prospect of inadvertently danger the life-supporting environment, the environment that supports the human species and many other species, of committing what religious people sometimes call crimes against creation.
That we should be addressing now, so that we do make sure we stick around and are children and our children's children stick around and they have a world worth living in.
Teach, Papa. Teach.
God creators, dream destroyers, spineless cowards. So he's repeating that, and then our blood-filled rivers fueled by hate. Mm-hmm. Plenty of those. My God, we kill so many humans.
It's crazy how we can't help. We billions are spent on wars.
Sure.
Billions.
Well,
yet we still have homeless
can't feed our homeless. No,
we
we can't
still
feed
have
no,
poor
no, no,
people
no.
in the world.
There's no money for that.
The amount of poverty in children to increase before the end of this century. More than half the kids in America may be below the poverty line. What kind of a future do we build for the country if we raise all these kids as disadvantaged, as unable to cope with the society, as resentful for the injustice served up to them? This is stupid.
Billionaires are around and we still have...
What do you think? We can just print money?
I know, right?
Oh, we can?
Right.
Oh, but still, no money for
no money, no funds. I'm done. I'm done.
Don't get mad at us. The song made us talk about this crap. I made a choice.
It's all good. It's all good. Nothing but
Gotta
love.
be real. Gotta speak the truth.
Exactly. And yeah, we have. That's one of the things I pride myself on, being myself at all times, you know, and being true to who I am and not afraid to express my thoughts and feelings and my views on things, even if it's contrary to the masses.
I just want this world to be a better place and stop fighting over every little goddamn thing.
Likewise.
Like me saying goddamn.
Yeah,
it's not a curse word.
He said that in one of our, I think, at the Hurt Reaction. And someone commented saying that they were enjoying it until my husband was so disrespectful and cursed. I'm like, when did he curse?
Sorry if I hurt God's feelings.
Oh no, he said, yeah, God damn it, and that was just like, nonetheless, moving forward, not sideways. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video, and if you did, please help me to not ramble again. Comment below, give us a thumbs up, and do not leave without subscribing, but also do share our content as well.
As always.
As always. Keep it metal. Metal forever, baby.
Thank you,
Love
Lori.
you guys. Love you, Lori.
Appreciate you.
See you in the inbox. Bye.
It seems that through the ages, humans have created a mythological framework that is often involves some kind of higher spiritual powers. And as
Every human culture has done.
as that goes away, as we know more and more that, and it seems harder and harder to prove that anything might exist like that, where does that leave us?
On our own. Which to my mind is much more responsible than hoping that someone will save us from ourselves so we don't have to make our best efforts to do it ourselves. And if we're wrong, and there is someone who steps in and saves us, okay, that's all right. I'm for that, but we, hedged our bets. When you say, do you believe in God? If I say yes or if I say no, you have learned absolutely nothing.
I guess I'm asking you to define yours if you have one.
But why would we use a word so ambiguous that means so many different things?
It gives you freedom to define it as
It gives you freedom to seem to agree with someone else with whom you do not agree. It covers over differences. It makes for social lubrication, but it is not an aid to truth. Every human culture has a set of creation myths, but they're in the realm of mythology or religion or folklore, and they are, of course, all mutually inconsistent. Every newspaper in America, with very few exceptions, has a daily astrology column. Astrology is bunk. Astrology is fraud. How many of them have even a weekly science column? Why that disproportion? How much real science is there on?
Well, they say they're giving them, that's what the networks all say. We're just giving the American people what they want.
And that,
And we're dragging ourselves down and down and down over the last 40 years. I know, I've seen it.
Global warming, the greenhouse effect. You put gases like carbon dioxide or CFCs, other greenhouse gases, into the atmosphere over this country. They don't stay over that country. Those molecules don't have passports. They don't know about national sovereignty. That's something they never heard of. the atmospheric circulation spreads those gases all over the planet. And so what one country does affects all the other countries. The solution to these kinds of problems has to be that everybody on Earth works together. The industrialized nations have the biggest responsibility because they're the biggest polluters. The United States puts more CO2 in the atmosphere than any other nation. But Western Europe and the Soviet Union and Japan and even the developing countries all make significant contributions. So there has to be a new way of looking at the future, and that is that we're all humans, members of the same species, on one fragile little planet. We're all in this together, and we have to work together.
Viewers of this program do to make a difference in correcting these problems?
They can make sure that candidates who don't understand and aren't deeply committed to ending and reversing the nuclear arms race, to stopping greenhouse warming, and to stopping the depletion of the ozonosphere, that those guys aren't, men and women, are not elected. It's not enough to have a candidate say, I'm an environmentalist. In what way are you an environmentalist, Mr. or Ms. candidate? Take a look at the most recent election. In contrast to the previous 8 years, an uncompromising anti-environmentalist in the White House, not a hint of any real commitment to the environment. So I say in a democracy, that's the most important thing a person can do. There are a lot of other things a person can do. You can plant trees. You can boycott industries which are irresponsible on global warming and on chlorofluorocarbons. There are many things people can do, but they have to understand the issue before they can do those things.
Carl Sagan could not have predicted 2021, but he did see it coming. He wrote the following back in 1995, and we quote, "I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or grandchildren's time when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues, when the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide almost without noticing back into superstition and darkness. The dumbing down of America is most evident in the slow decay of substantive content in the enormously influential media. The 30-second sound bites now down to 10 seconds or less. Lowest common denominator programming, credulous presentations on pseudoscience and superstition, but especially a kind of celebration of ignorance." Roll that around for a while. Those were among his final published words. He died 10 months later. Here we are 25 years later, realizing just what he was trying to tell us back then.